Karibu sana. Let's welcome back to the program. It's Monday, the 7th of April. Karibu sana to the program. Being a Monday, it's all about eye on politics and let's take a look at what really happened in the political segment through the weekend, even as we enter into the new week. As I earlier mentioned during the start of the show, the president was in Mount Kenya the entire week, that is last week, and he made several tours and stops, and development projects were initiated and launched in that particular region. I want us to take a look and take stock, basically taking a postmortem of what really happened. From your own understanding, some leaders did not get it right. Some were booed, some met some hostile crowds, some got it right. But that is all in the name of politics. But I really want us to take a keen look generally and have a general post-mortem of what happened in the mountain. Did the president get to hold back the mountain as said? Yesterday, some of the members of parliament, senators, Gerald Gay, some of them said the president got a rousing welcome in the mountain. Well, I don't know what's there. But the most important thing is the development and the tone, the energy, the pulp. What is the heartbeat of the mountain? What really happened? I want us to take a look at that shortly, and also taking a look at my daily papers. I'll be taking you through the front pages for local dailies. Today being a Monday, my guests are already in studio. Some of them are still coming, but I have Odoyo Owidi, who is already in studio. There you have him, a gentleman who decided to disappear, but I managed to get him. Odoyo Owidi is the Lake Victoria South Water Works Development Agency. He is here with us. He is also a politician par excellence. Mheshimiwa, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Good to see you.
I'm also happy to see you.
You disappeared. Did we give you...
I did not disappear. Maybe
were you declared a persona non grata here?
Maybe I was sitting in a shadow, you couldn't see me.
Your shadow must be too big that I can't see you. But nevertheless, good to see you once again.
Thank you, my
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Okay. Allow me to ask you this question before we continue. What has been your key highlights of the entire week? A lot basically happened from politics, from economy, social circles, sports. What really stood out for you as a senior citizen of this country, as a leader? What can you put your hands on, basically, generally? What really stood out for you?
What happened at a church in Mwiki?
Yes.
There are many things that went there unnoticed by many a politician and citizens. First of all, there were key things to note.
Yes.
Many kilometers away, Kalonzo Musyoka was talking about exactly what was happening in Mwiki almost around the same time. It is like he was aware it would happen. Number two, in Mwiki, there were already very many people ready to condemn what was happening. As if it was known that it was going to happen, they get there ready to condemn it. And one other thing that is very interesting that I want Kenyans to notice in general, when the president is heckled in Embu or anywhere else, they say the citizens did it. When Rigathi Gachagua is heckled anywhere else in the country, they say goons did it. So Kenyans must be very careful about how things are reported by our own media. And when you look at how the reporting is done, since last year, or actually not even last year, since the president came to power, 1 year later, negative reporting began in earnest. And they would rather have Ichung'wah heckled as a headline rather than have the president welcomed in Central as the headline. The choice of what the media reports and how they report is very wanting. I think it is time we all sit together with the general media in the country so that we can at times have positive reporting, because it is necessary for the growth of this country. It is necessary for development in this country. But we can't have negative reporting on end. In fact, I have even profiled the two major newspapers. One, the work of this paper is simply to attack individual personality.
Not mentioning names kindly.
I will not do that.
All right.
They mention, they actually attack individuals personally. And I think when somebody dwells on individuals,
yes,
that is the lowest it can go. You hear somebody is a dishonest watchdog, somebody is a what tyrant, somebody. They have chosen to be calling people bad names throughout. And the other one, the job is to attack the presidency and promote anybody opposing the presidency. And that is what they have been doing. If you will one of these days live here and go underline the headlines in the last 6 months and see how they have been reporting. It is something very unpatriotic of Kenyan press. We need also to support the president for the 5 years that is in office and also prepare to remove him in a free and fair way.
In journalism school, we are taught about one old adage. When a dog bites a man, that is not news. But when a man bites a dog, that is good news.
Victor, I call that a lazy defense.
No. Number two, no news is good news. No news is good news.
Yes.
So it's quite unsettling. But you'd imagine if you did it, would you want it not to be reported if you did it?
I of course, expected you to defend the media because you are one of them. That is where you get your bread.
I'm just
but
the discussion.
What I have advised you to do,
right?
Take the papers, especially the main ones. One, align the headlines from one up to there, and this other one here. And see, take data from it, and you'll come back and tell me.
Has anyone
in Kenya must learn.
Has anyone been sued of lies or slander or has anyone been sued? Any newspaper? Has anyone taken that particular newspaper talking about to court?
You know, I have not said whatever they are doing is slander.
Okay.
I have said whatever they are doing is biased. There is nowhere you can take the media for being biased against you.
So they are doing the right thing.
They are not doing the right thing. They are doing the wrong thing.
By calling out the ills in the society? By reporting what's there?
They are not calling the ills in society. They are choosing to be negative about certain people in society and to be positive about certain. I gave you a very good example that happened yesterday. I will add you one more. I told you that when the president is heckled, they say Kenyans heckled the president, rejected him. When Rigathi Gachagua is heckled, they say the goons were hired to heckle him. And
was Gachagua heckled?
No, you will get to your time. You will get to your time. You call it.
Let's welcome him officially, Dr. Richard Bosire.
So
let's welcome Dr. Richard Bosire, the University of Nairobi Lecturer of Political Science. Welcome, Dr.
Thank you.
It seems you are really eager to get into this discussion.
I'm hearing things that I
Go
thought...
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to speak?
Okay, fine, go ahead.
Let me say thing. I mean, I'm just responding to my brother here.
Yes.
I don't think the problem is the media in this country. The media has done its bit. If we have a good memory, 2017, the media had problems with the state. And most of our great journalists, some of our great journalists left the country to other places. And the media is, for me, the media reports the happenings of the day. But it depends also on our interpretation. Like my colleague here is interpreting.
Yes.
Gachagua was not heckled yesterday. We saw cars that had been hit by stones. There was destruction of property, throwing chairs in the church. The media reported what actually happened. And I believe that that is actually what happened. They couldn't manufacture what we saw on the television. That's not the same thing as when some boys are chanting behind Ruto must go and all that. What, for me, is important is how are we nurturing our democracy? It cannot be like, let someone manage. Our institutions, first, to manage our democracy well, our institutions must be strengthened. Whether they are security agencies, whether they are universities, whether they are it is the judiciary, it is the office of the director of budget, or the office of the AG, whether it's the office of the Auditor General. But we have seen attacks on these offices, undermining the authority of these offices by people who are actually governing this country. I mean, are we saying that we are going to blame the media for reporting it from different perspectives, rather than actually crying for our country that our agencies, security agencies, all our institutions are working effectively to protect the democracy in this country? When my brother here says unpatriotic journalists, I don't understand. How do you measure unpatriotism? Because a journalist should report what has happened. You cannot hide what has happened because you think it's going to cause problems. It is also a message to those who are perpetrating this kind of, or who are conducting themselves this way, actually to change. The media is the eyes of the public. In fact, it is the lifeblood of democracy, and a free media for that matter. So we shouldn't gag the media because we want to protect certain interests.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I feel that I'm taking the heat on behalf of my colleagues in the industry, but that is the nature of our work. I mean, it's called occupational hazard. Occupational hazard. Okay, let me take you through the front page of local dailies, gentlemen, before we continue. Budget betrayal, that's on the front page of the Standard newspaper. There we have it. Budget betrayal, we have it here. And it says that there is some sort of a cash crunch. The government is preparing to storm back, blood-stained briefcase in hand, to wring the last drops from a crumbling economy. Budget making has morphed from a duty to serve Kenyans and citizens into a desperate bid for the state's survival. For millions of the poor who are barely hanging on, it's yet another demand for them to tighten already frayed belts. Last year's finance bill protest caused dozens of young lives, and now, yet the regime, deaf and unshaken, presses on, hell-bent on taxing even the air Kenyans breathe. That is what is here. The gentleman, the subject on the front page is CS John Mbadi. That is what we have here. And according to the paper, the total revenue for 2025-2026 financial year up from 3.06 billion shillings projected for the current financial year stands at 3.385 trillion shillings. That is what is here on the front page of the Standard newspaper. Still on the front page, I will not be intimidated, says Gachagua. All right, very quickly, citizens now rise up against Trump, and finally, so close yet so far, brave for Sevens team to the Shujaa. They lost to Fiji, who they've been good enemies for quite some time in terms of rugby, good enemies, so to speak. Gambling craze, killing youth, that's on the front page of the Star newspaper. Gambling craze, killing youths. It is most listed as varsity students and border riders. That is on the front page of the Star newspaper. You can take a look at that story in details. What is there? Ruto Kindiki keep low profile after 5-day Mount Kenya tour. That is yesterday. Finally, Raila's ODM party suffers major financial setbacks ahead of grassroots polls. Star on the front page of the Star. Finally, on the front page of the Daily Nation, state jobs for those who have godfathers. State jobs for those with godfathers. An MP has unwittingly blown the whistle on an issue that has been a public secret for several years, and through successive administrations, political and personal interests surpassing institutions' powers in hiring teachers, police officers, and military personnel, among others. When will this blatant nepotism that has ruined youth's lives and futures end? That's the key question. And still on the front page, chaos rocks Gashagua's church meeting in Nairobi, and alcohol set for return amid surge in road carnage. That is over the weekend. Several people lost their lives, including one where 15 lost their lives in one accident. And so far, at least 1,139 Kenyans have been killed in road accidents in the last 3 months alone. And something which is also quite close to my heart, cigarette that has been smoking for years on end. National Drama Festival kicks off. Battle of the Titans at Fates starts. I'm excited about that. Nakuru will be hosting the National Drama Festivals this year. Okay, so, gentlemen, let's get into it. Starting with you, Odoyo. The president was in the mountain the past 1 week. Please give me a quick post-mortem of what you saw, how it went. Basically pinpointing what really stood out for you during the president's tour. Go ahead.
I was a bit nervous when the president was heading to the mountain because I had seen the level of blackmail thrown at him, the level of incitement that was taking place in the mountain, that he should not come. I even remember there was a time the former deputy president told the president not to step in Mount Kenya if the Chief Justice was taken through an impeachment process, which of course is a legal process that is not controlled by the government. That notwithstanding, the president went to the mountain and met crowds and crowds. Of course, there was a black spot where the majority leader was heckled, and that almost became the only thing the media wanted to report about it. That's fine. But what I saw were large crowds, happy to meet the president, cheering, singing, and doing all that ought to be done when the president visits an area. That is all, what ought to happen in the country. Because for now, until 2027, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the symbol of unity is President William Arap Ruto.
Right.
So I am happy to have seen that the people of Mount Kenya welcomed that against what the naysayers were doing before he went to the mountain.
Okay. Daktari?
Thank you, Victor. I mean, I do not really understand the purposes of the hula baloo regarding the presidential visit to the Mount Kenya. The president is visiting part of the country that he governs. And I don't see a lot really why it has been given so much media space, media coverage, and even people trying to harp on what has been happening in the mountain. The president was just touring the country. It should not be a big deal. But people feel that should distract. People feel that should distract us from the main issues in the nation. One of it is the changes that have happened in the government. For me, the question should have been, how is government now going to be more efficient? Starting from now on henceforth.
Yeah.
Because we have had changes in government. There are CSS, PSS who are being vetted and all that. For me, we're saying, how are we going to ensure that we have an efficient government? Because the problem as we speak this morning, Victor, is that there's a deficit in terms of public management in our country. We can see the numerous cases that have been in court, the numerous court rulings, especially back and forth on the issue even of the university funding model. We have a SHA that is not actually operating. People want people to believe that you shout at the topest of your voice that SHA is working well, when it's known that it's a serious challenges. It's serious challenges, and the patients have said it so. I saw some time back, Victor, when the then CS Health was saying that the directors have told me from the grassroots that SHA is working. And perhaps that's why she was replaced. Because how directors are part of you. Listen to the people. Listen to the people of Kenya. What are the people of Kenya saying? Unemployment issues. We have high living costs. We have high interest rates to borrow from the banks to do their businesses. Someone will say, oh, they have come down. Which one? We were, for example, I had a mortgage, 11%. It went to 19%. It has not come down. And people want people to believe that what they say is true, but the person who has got a mortgage or a loan knows that these things are not working.
Yeah.
So for me, that should be the focus. The focus on who heckled Gashawa, who heckled Ichungwa, who heckled the governor, who heckled the senator, who heckled the president. For me, it's a diversionary tactic to divert Kenyans' attention and putting Kenya in an electoral mode so that they forget about accountability, to forget about inefficiency of government. For me, I see it that way, that we have major issues facing the country. Major issues facing the country. Even the attacks we're witnessing. We lived, we were here in 1992, 97, We saw these things, how they morphed to become nightmares. That during elections, then 2007 was our lowest.
Yeah.
Why are we letting ourselves to walk into the path that we already know? Maybe the youth don't know, the Gen Zs don't know. And those who are walking us through that path, actually they understand the consequences. So that we get into an election with a poisoned environment, and then there'll be a fight among Kenyans. We should tread carefully. We should tread carefully. All leaders, especially the political leaders, must tread carefully. We don't need this bravado trying to say,
but are we becoming
I am
so
stronger,
immune?
I am more powerful, and all that.
Yeah, gentlemen, are we becoming so immune to the, let me use the word, it's a normal occurrence, heckling there, stone throwing being done there, and particular, are we becoming so immune that we are taking it to be so normal in our political circles that we cannot have some political hygiene and start doing things differently?
The problem we have, let me respond because I raised the issue.
Yes.
Politics or democracy does not have a space for violence.
Okay.
People should have the freedom to express themselves.
All right.
But government must ensure that there is security in these meetings. There is security in this meeting. If it's just heckling, just shouting back, there's no problem. I don't think that is a major problem. It happens in all democracy. And it's an expression by the people for their displeasure with perhaps what is going on. But when they cross the line and they throw stones, then that's a major violation of our values and principles.
Because this is a breakfast show, I want to serve you tea. Are you happy now?
Beef.
Very good.
I think
Let's take a break. We'll be right back with more. Stay with us.